Alright, back with another reaction video. This time I'm taking a look at my old design work. Some cringy word stuff, but I have to go back and show you guys what everything used to look like. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're gonna start with the first one, and I just picked a few. I have tons of these, so we're just gonna go through a bunch of random ones and see what we find. The first one is 2009. Wow. All college retreat, Saturday, October 17. Man, this was the UGMX day, so I mean, it's not a bad design, right? It's simple text, college text, bunch of college logos in the back. Oh, so this is, I think, when we used to throw these UGMX parties, like the college events, and we used to bring a bunch of college kids to come through. I believe that's what it was. Can't remember too well, but then we had this system where people used to text this number with that keyword, retreat, and it would come to us. It would lock into our list or something like that, and therefore we'd be able to send all these like flyers or messages for any events. So we used to have like a big ass list of people that would text, and yeah. Wow. But then we had Rick Lee. He was a host, I remember, but I know we used to work with Rick Lee a lot, so he was probably the host or at that event or not, I'm not sure. So we had D-Lo, Sleepy D, the 20 Boys, Amon Iller, Netta B, Ali Bo, Hood Stars, Young Bari. Man, we had a lineup there. So, man, old ass flyer. Next is Jay Mackin. Shout out Jay Mackin. Man, yeah, as you can see, my skills weren't that great back in the days, but hey, gotta start somewhere. So the design itself, yeah, I mean, so this is one thing that I've learned as I've designed more, is that when I used to start designing, artists would give you whatever they had. So, and there's a lot of times that a lot of artists didn't know what was the difference between good photography or bad, or what's acceptable, what looks good, what doesn't look good on screen. So I would literally just work with anything they gave me. So I think this is a mixtape that I worked on with Jay Mackin, and I designed the cover. So I literally just used whatever he sent me, or maybe it was something I downloaded online or found or something. Because that was also a thing with artists, is that so a lot of them didn't really work well with technology, or didn't know their way around technology, so they didn't really know how to get that photo to me. So it was just one of those things that I just had to make it happen. I would just go online and look for their, at that time, maybe MySpace page, and download the picture. So this is one. I mean, the picture itself is not bad. It's just the resolution wasn't the best. You could tell when I zoom in, it's definitely pixelated. It doesn't look sharp. And then these are all these other little logos I had designed. I know this 408 is still going hard, so this is my DJ logo, which is still in use. My old Flesh Designs logo. Everybody know me by Flesh, so therefore I use Flesh Designs as an outlet. Stay Shark and mixtapes. It's another thing. Just back then it was just more like I need to brand myself, so I made all these other outlets and channels to, you know, focus that type of material to that brand. So that was my thinking. You know. I mean, the concept of the art is not too bad, but definitely it's some work. I mean, look at these squares. Like, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't do that. I mean, there has to be some kind of theme at least to it, and just crumbled up paper in the background, and I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, that was the time. That was the time back then. Let's see what's next. So UGMX presents the Pack Live. Man, who remembers the Pack? Good times with the Pack. So this event, I'm not sure if it really happened or not, because we did have a lot of events with artists, but I can't recall if we did have the Pack or not. Anyways, if we did, this is the flyer I designed. Back then, I remember that these Vans was obviously got my Vans on, but they look like they popularized the Vans, so, or at least brought it back up to a level where everybody wanted them, you know. So I remember that was a big song back then, and so I guess I try to use that checkered style in the background and added some spray paint type brushes to, you know, give it that urban look, I guess. I'm not sure. I kind of got this from the Vans logo. I just kind of replaced the inside of it with black or something like that. And we have the performers. Traxamillion, shout out Traxamillion. He's been rocking with UGMX for a long time. Kafani, he also rocked with UGMX for a long time. No ID. This is a group that UGMX used to manage. So I did a lot of work for them too. So I'll probably show some of that later. Skeptic. Man, I wonder where Skeptic is at. If you've seen this, man, what's up? How you doing, bro? I got myself, aka Flesh back then, the boy. Got Most. I don't know if I guess we're. Oh yeah, so I guess we were performing. We might have been performing that one song. What is it? YBGB or something like that. We had a single, so that was a good song. And Young PMC, man, I think he's still doing music. I've seen some stuff out there. Shout out to PMC if you're watching this. I remember chopping it up with him too in the studio when he started with was it Garage Band or something like that. He would get down on some beats though, so shout out to PMC. Overall, it's an okay flyer. I mean, it's not horrible, I guess, you know. But what's this in the background? What these brushes are? Looks like a skull maybe. I don't know. Anyways, not bad. Next, Rick Lee. Shout out my boy Rick Lee, man. So Rick Lee used to work with UGMX a lot as well. So, and I remember that I think I remember reaching out to him and asking him to give me a shot at designing some stuff for him. And I think one of it was the logo. So I reached out to him. He said, "Yeah, you know, show me what you got, or you know, see what you could come up with." So. Yeah, that's what I came up with. I mean, back then, you know, I wasn't I did go to school for animation and all that, but there's a lot of specific types of drawings and techniques and styles. So this is just what I came up with. I drew that dragon, as you can see here. When I look at it now, I'm just like, what is that? And it looks silly. But I mean, the typography is all right. Like the font, it needs a lot of work. I mean, yeah. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's not something I would produce nowadays, but see, now it's different because the way that I design is a lot more deep. Like, I actually ask a lot more questions to the clients, and it's a lot more thoughtful. But yeah, it's man, yeah, I can see why you said no, Rick Lee. I don't judge you. Anyways, next one. So I guess this was a design for Red Cafe. He didn't directly contact me to do this design or anything like that, but I remember that I was really digging the music back then that he was putting out. So this was kind of one of those fan art type things that I just made just for the hell of it. It's obviously pretty crappy because I don't have the images, the high resolution images straight from him. I literally just Googled them or something like that, and I might have just found these images. So definitely that's already the red flag there, right? You know, you don't have original photography. And also with these designs is that, now that I understand this more, is that when you're putting out any type of marketing material, the way you're going to shoot this has to be intended for that type of material. So if this was like a poster or something, we would have to set up a shoot to be specifically for what we need it for a poster. Or if we're going to do a photo shoot for social media campaigns and poster designs and social media, or Instagram posts, whatever, we were going to cater or specifically curate that photo shoot to be used in those outlets or in those platforms or whatnot. So I mean, there's times where you could grab images, from past photo shoots or whatnot and make them work, but ideally that's how you want to get things done. So anyways, this is just something I came up with. I guess I was going off the camo with the greens and all that. These 3 lines, kind of like a border, I guess. And the background, it says Red Cafe. Wow. Like a pattern, I guess, or something with the shadow, man. Horrible. Using shadows, you gotta be careful because you have to use them wisely. Alright, next one. Ali Bo. Man, Ali Bo. Time to Shine, TTS. I remember all about Ali Bo. So, UGMX also worked with Ali Bo. I can't remember if they managed them or not, but I remember that he would kill it on open mics, and I was able to do some work for him through UGMX. So I think this was part of the EPK or something like that, or maybe it was just for MySpace or whatever. But yeah, I guess this is a photo that they took at UGMX maybe, and I just cut it up, added this stroke with gradient with Puerto Rican colors in there, and I think I might have done this logo too. Can't remember. It's not the best, but came up with whatever that time. And in the background, it looks like I just cut it in 3 pieces and I displaced it and moved it. So yeah, it's nothing amazing, but I mean, that's what I was doing back then, and people liked it. So all right, next one. Oh yeah, we're getting to the Mo'Skillz. So this is the group that I started a long time ago with my cousin Young Fig, my boy Ill. Just had a podcast with him. Shout out Ill, shout out Young Fig. And we had a bunch of other people. We had Frankie, we had Angel, we had a bunch of people. Jay Diggs, we just talked on IG. And who else? And yeah, those are some of the people. Of course, it always changed and we had new group members, but there was a time, we were a one-stop shop. Obviously I was already doing the design work, so I was able to take on any marketing type work. Therefore, I think this picture, I can't remember who took this picture. It might have been my boy Manuel, but I'm not sure. Or maybe just one of us or someone that was in the picture was taking it. I can't remember. This was at Plaza Heritage right there on King Road. So got the mural right there on the side. It's pretty dope. And just Shark City's Mo'Skillz, in case you didn't know, with the big San Jose Sharks. You know what I mean? What was I rocking here? Can't remember this brand, but it was a poppin' clothing brand. Some Warriors, always representing. So these shirts, I actually designed them back then. I don't know if you guys remember the San Jose Shark logo. This was exactly the logo, obviously without the San Jose, but it used to have this this hockey stick that it was biting through it. So I basically just redrew everything on Illustrator and removed that hockey stick, so it was just a shark inside of that triangle. That was my design. It's kind of like my take on it, and I made shirts, so they're pretty dope. Cousin Young Fig with his big ass tennis shades or whatever. Overall, not too bad of a design, but brings back memories. All right, next one, another one. So you can see this was probably when I was exploring more of that flare design here. I was adding a lot of these flares. I think because I've seen that a lot in mixtape covers and all that. People were using. You would see artists with these, chains or whatnot, and you would see these glows or whatever on them. It's kind of like that reflection, I guess, or something. I don't know. And I guess that's why I wanted to add it there, give it some kind of shine or glare or whatever. I don't know. I was just experimenting, I guess. And it looks like I cut the pictures here and I just positioned them on the left, Young Fig on the right, and myself in the middle or in the back. That's it, Mo'Skillz. Gradient in the back, nothing fancy. It's not a horrible design, but it is what it is. All right, another one. Man, oh man. So this is actually, or you can't see it, but this is the design, I think the shark design that I was talking about previously in the front. And I think this one might have been a little different because the triangle, I actually had an SJ in the back, where the triangle of the shark is at. I actually made that into an SJ, but it's still the shape of the triangle with the shark. So that was a pretty cool design. And I added this stay sharking on the side. I remember this was like really stylish back then. Like people would add a lot of, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Metal Mouth started that, or someone else, like a local brand, started doing that on the side. And I remember that's a cool idea. Let me try it. And I added that stay sharking on the side, and I was like, looks cool. And those are some nice shirts that I designed. So this design is Stay Sharkin' magazine. I think I was trying to create my own magazine, or at least digitally, because I'm pretty sure I couldn't afford making magazines. The reason why even is because at that time I believe I was working at a print shop or something, and I used to help with the magazine work, or I was designing a Vietnamese magazine. I can't remember, but anyways, I had experience doing magazines. That's my point. So I was like, why not? I think I could make a magazine. It's not that hard. And this was kind of like a promo, I guess, or something, just to kind of get people interested. And look at, as you can see, 2010. Wow, 10 years ago. Yeah, man, it's not too bad for being 10 years ago, but Got all my brands here on the bottom right. info@stayshard.com, which doesn't exist, I'm sure. And they call me Flash Mixtape. I think that's the time I released one of the mixtapes. Yeah, I mean, overall it's not a bad. These pictures too. I think a gentleman by the name of Gary, if I'm not mistaken, took those pictures. And this is a photo shoot that I had set up for the shirts. So I just used one of the images already and cut it out, put it in there. Not too bad, right? Anyways, next. Ali Bo, another design. I think this is like trying to work on that logo I was talking about. Puerto Rican flag and the I believe that's Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken. And some cursive writing. I don't know why I chose that writing or that type of font, but that's what I came up with some stroke. Definitely, man, these designs, like when I think about everything that I've learned throughout all those years now, it's like one thing I've learned is that when you design logos, you're not supposed to entirely say what you do in that logo. So this is an example. Why would I want to use the Puerto Rican flag? You know, it's more about creating an identity, something that identifies you between all the other artists out there. So it has to be something memorable and also very simple to, you know, simplicity is one of the hardest things to do. So yeah, I mean, it's already not that simple because you have the flag with all the shade on there. I mean, if I had to rethink it, it would have to be maybe the shape of Puerto Rico, maybe, and something less cursive. I mean, it has to also have some kind of connection with the artist, right? Cursive, I wouldn't say is the best for this artist, at least, you know. So you gotta know who you're working with and all that. But you know, it's what I came up with, and not my best work, definitely. Oh man, Baby Chino. Shout out if you're watching this video. Man, I still remember when Big Mike he had brought this kid, and he was at that time apparently the youngest DJ in the world. He might have been, if I'm not mistaken, anywhere between 4 to 6 years, maybe something like that. But yeah, he was very, very young. Of course, you know, the skills were not entirely there, but I remember his dad. I met his dad too. Really, really cool people. And I think they were coming from Las Vegas. And we worked with them too. I think Mike put Baby Chino on a lot of shows. And I had a chance to work with Baby Chino and do some design work. So, and also there's a few videos that I'll probably put out later, but there's times that, you know, his dad would ask me to teach him a few things about DJing, because I was also DJing. And of course, you know, I taught him whatever I knew, you know. And so I don't know, this is probably, for the looks of it, MySpace days. What is it? World's Youngest DJ. There you go. See? So he already had the title. And blinged out. And yeah, I mean, these pictures, I think they're like phone quality pictures, so they weren't the best, but man, look at this stuff. Man, palm trees, brush work. Like, I was really using that brush technique too much. And I don't know these shapes, like why, like I don't even know why I would even use that. But anyways, this is probably something from MySpace or just a flyer or something like that. But yeah, good times. Amazing. Damn. Who remembers Amazing? Shout out Amazing if you're watching. So Amazing was another artist that UGMX was working with, was managing, and everybody in that camp, we were all really tight. So I met a lot of artists, and Amazing was one of those artists that was always there, that was dedicated. And I think they asked me to make a logo for them, so sure enough, that's the logo I came up with. Or maybe that's something that we talked about and we're like, this would look cool, why not? Obviously this is like the athletics logo, right? So that's maybe where the idea came from, and just added that circle, I guess, and just the lettering. I mean, looks like I added some kind of emboss effect, so it looks like it's kind of coming out of the logo. Just kind of corny if I think about it now, because yeah, like I said before, you have to make sure when you're designing logos that they're simple and they don't have effects on them. I mean, there's a lot to working with logos. I mean, you want to make them simple. So if you think about using an emboss effect and then you're gonna do like embroidery, other things like that, that's not gonna reflect really well on the embroidery. So you have to think of those things when you're designing, right? Where is it gonna be used at? Where is it gonna go? Like, if I wanted to really use emboss nowadays, there have to be a specific purpose for that, a reason for that, right? So, hey, it's all about learning, right? Anyways, next, I think it's the last one. New Era, man. Who remembers New Era? So, New Era was a group of 4 individuals that wanted to, basically a boy band. And shout out to everybody though. You know, we all had our dreams, we all wanted to do something. So MIC, MAE, Cadence, and Ryan Jordan. So this is also another group that UGMX used to manage. Everybody already was bringing something to the table. So MIC, I know that he already had music out, and he had a fan base and everything. He was basically established, I believe. So MAE, he came, I believe, as a DJ. I can't remember the story how he even got to New Era, but I know that he was into DJing, or maybe he was dancing. I can't remember, man. But anyways, shout out MAE too, man, if you're watching. Yeah, so he became a part of it. Cadence, I remember Cadence. I think MIC is Cadence's cousin, I'm not mistaken, but I think they're related. And he was another person that wanted to be an artist and joined the group. Ryan Jordan, I can't remember too much the story from Ryan Jordan, but he was also another talented artist. And yeah, it was basically like that B2K of UGMX, you know. I know that they're heavy into dancing and singing and rapping and all that, so they're really trying to do it. And they had a really good following, so everything was, I think they were really pushing pretty good. And I got to design the logo and a lot of like marketing stuff, you know, social media stuff. So this was probably one of the flyers that I designed, and we're promoting like where the music was at and the MySpace. So yeah, it was a good experience working with them. But yeah, damn, old days. Well, that wraps it up for today's reactions. A lot of a lot of good stuff in there. I only wanted to show you guys a little bit. I have gigabytes of this kind of stuff, so I might do a part 2 for this. Yeah, it's a lot of good memories. But shout out to UGMX, Big Mike, Stacey, Johnny, everybody that was part of it, that helped make these artists the best that they could. And yeah, stay tuned for some more content. I'm working on a lot of stuff. So, and also, you guys get a chance, check out the podcast Teal Grit. It's on my YouTube, DJ Life 408. And yeah, thank you again. Please like, subscribe, and share. Also hit that bell if you want some notifications on when dropping new stuff, so you'll be in the loop. All right, well, thank you for watching. Late.